Welcome to my stream, welcome to my atelier, and welcome to Painting Discourse. Today I'm going to be working on a fragment from a larger piece that is from Stereo and Method project that I'm working on. And yesterday, or actually 2 days ago, we talked about the feet and the proportion and the shape and the composition and how it influenced and how it influenced the overall painting. All of these pieces, all of these ideas are interlocked with each other, and I mentioned something that I repeat over and over again, and that's whatever small thing that I change here, it's going to affect the whole painting. And with the same idea, we're going to continue today as well. So I have a standard setup. I have my Rembrandt ready to be helpful at any time. There is also Caravaggio here, which is behind the Rembrandt book, and I have another heavy hitter right underneath, and that's Velázquez, if I need Velázquez as well. When it comes to my palette, just very quickly, this is just a regular setup. I'm using the mixture of two ideas. I have a tonal and colorist palette simultaneously, because I believe that I'm not one of those purists that either use the tonal palette or colorist palette. I like to use both, since we have the both ideas, since we can describe volume not only with the tone but also with the shift in the temperatures. I believe that it will help painting tremendously. And also I like the variety, and when I'm looking at the work of Rembrandt, he definitely uses both ideas, the tone and the color as well. And the more that I'm looking at the work of Rembrandt, I think that he used tone as his primary guide, and the colorist idea as his secondary. Well, maybe that's not the best explanation that I have, but that's something that I observed, that he used a lot of shift between the warm and cool, and he created this slight turn of the form through these little shifts within already established value transitions in his portraits. I really enjoy to look at the Rembrandt paintings, and I like to look at them over and over again all the time, because they have so much into them, so much knowledge that is that can be extracted from it. So let me just open the portrait that I'm working that is helping me a lot right now, which is a self-portrait from 1658 with a beautiful golden dress that he has. It's simply awesome, simply awesome. So yeah, I'm gonna be looking at that picture. But as if you watch my previous streams, you know that I flip through the book. Sometimes I look a little too much into that book, and I'm forgetting to paint. But I promise you that I will start painting immediately, so we don't waste a precious sunlight, because I work with natural light. I don't really use artificial light when it comes to painting. When we talk about drawing, I don't mind. Or when I do the corrections with the charcoal, with some when I'm dealing with some proportions that they need to be adjusted, I can work with under artificial light. But for painting and for color and for value and for tone, I love to work with natural light. So, which brings me to my setup. So I have my canvas. I have my reference books that I peek into constantly. I also, on this side, I have my tablet where I have anatomy and digital files. Usually most of the time it's a little sketches or like a library of a different painters. I don't really like to work from photographs, so I don't use photographs that often. Truth to be told, very rarely I use photographs, only because I find them well, I'm not really one of those people that like to copy from photographs, because I find it boring. That's the truth. I don't really need to lie or create some perfect idea why. Simply, I find it boring. That's it. That's that's the whole thing. So yeah, and I started with a palette. I was talking about the warm and cool, and the colorist palette and tonalist palette. So I go from light to dark. My lighter color, it's cadmium yellows, and I go all the way through the color wheel to I think this is a raw umber. And then I have also ivory black and titanium white. I did not mention these as a colors because, well, I should, because I use black a lot most of the time as my blue, but in like that kind of a philosophical sense. When we talk about black, it's absence of light, and white is absence of color. So that's why I didn't include white into colors, because that's like a philosophical idea about the colors, and maybe there's something true in that. And the reason why I said philosophical, because we cannot make a true black with the oil paints and oil pigment. This is black is very, very dark blue in my case, because it's ivory black. I don't really, if you watch my stream, you know that I don't really care that much about specific brands. Actually, I don't care at all. The things that I really look, that I'm interested in or I'm looking into, is that what kind of whether or not this color it's opaque or transparent, what kind of hue it is, and how much saturation I can get from the color. I'm also looking into what kind of mixture I'm going to get by mixing mixing it with other paints. Another thing that's really important for me is that how much fillers was put into each of the specific tubes and pigments, because the more filler you have there, the less quality of paint you're getting, or not even quality, I would say, you're getting less out of a tube. So let's say if a 50% of the tube are fillers, you have only a 50% of a pigment inside. Preferably, if you have the opportunity and you have a chance to buy natural colors, which is only a pigment and linseed oil, that's probably the best way to go. If you don't, well, same as I don't have the luxury. Really, I don't feel this, or I don't think about this as a big of an issue. I'm working with the materials that I have, and that's probably one of the most important ideas with painting, that you're not always going to have a perfect studio. You're not always going to have a perfect setup. There's going to be clouds that are, changing the light. There's going to be people that are talking outside and you cannot focus. There is another people around you that bothers you. That's all. That's going to happen. You don't have a perfect brushes. You don't have the best palette knife. I don't know. You're missing. You don't have a best medium, right? So no, that's not about it. So don't really pay attention too much about brands and specific pigments and specific brand names in pigments, because I don't think that that's that much necessary. If you have a luxury, like I said, to get the best brand, definitely go for it, because you're gonna enjoy to work with these beautiful pigments. So that's that. The one thing that I would say, I would avoid working with student grade paint, because they usually have a lot of fillers and they don't have it. They don't really work the way that I like to. So I don't want to talk a lot about paints and pigments, because I talked about this at the beginning of every painting discourse that we have. That's kind of happened to be my mantra for the first 15-20 minutes. When it comes to brushes, I buy brushes in bulk these days. I have a lot of other old brushes, and again, I don't really care that much about the brand, and the older I get, the rougher I work with my brushes. So brushes are meant to be tool that you're using, and not something precious that you are afraid to even take out from the box. So that's why I buy the cheap brushes. It's not because I don't clean them. I try to clean them as much as possible, but that's just the nature of the way I work. I work on the rougher canvases, and especially with these sizes, I like how the paint is, how it catches the paint. How can you vary the thickness? You can work with really kind of impasto application of the paint. So that's the reason. And since the canvas is so rough, it oftentimes it works as a sandpaper. So more I paint, more I apply the pressure with the brushes, the more damage I am causing to them. So that's the reason why I buy brushes in bulk, whether it's in your local hardware store, or if you have like these huge warehouses like for art supplies, you can get them in bulk. So you might want to get those and try to play with them a little bit. Yeah. So yeah, that's about it. That's about the setup. And you can also see my reference painting, sketch right above the palette. And I have also a bunch of other sketches on the side, but I think that's out of the view. Nevertheless, I'm gonna be. Well, I lost the track of what I wanted to say. Yeah, I know. I'm back. It doesn't matter that you cannot see them. Sometimes maybe if I'll have time, I'll show you the setup from a different angle. Unfortunately, I found out that this angle it's the best because you can see the most from what I'm doing and how much I'm going back and forth, especially with the large painting like this. And I have a new addition. I have a glove. I mentioned it yesterday. I've been using a lot of chemicals lately, and my hands. I abuse them a lot. So if you don't have allergies, or if you don't have a problems with wearing gloves, protect yourself. That's the only thing that I can say. But if you don't want to, you don't. Do yourself. Do whatever you want. Yeah, and these are really a painting. This is really a painting discourse. So I'm going to be talking about a lot of stuff. that's going to be, that's repeating over and over and over again. Unfortunately, there is nothing new to this. This kind of technique and this kind of ideas been here, 500 years, and they are going from generation to generation, so there's going to be a lot of repetition. So my suggestion for you is to just grab a piece of paper, pencil, paints, watercolors, whatever you like, and paint alongside with me, and we can have a good time together. So let's get right into it. Oh, I also forgot to mention that I have two jars here. One is my medium that I use, which is really plain linseed oil and mineral spirits, and another one is just a clean mineral spirits where I clean my brushes while I'm painting. So let's get into it. I'm going to be continue working on the feet, because that's something that I want to really place down, really make sure that they're planted in the ground. And I started this last time. Actually, I was struggling with this for a while, so I really want to zoom into them, sit down, or not sit down, but really get focused, maybe even sit down and get things done. Because I'm happy with overall proportions right now, finally, and I'm stepping back. I might be out of the frame completely, but don't worry about it. I'm still here. And I also forgot to mention that I use a mirror, which is positioned farther in the back, so I can see the mirror reflection. I'm judging my proportions this way as well. Sometimes I use a smaller mirror or the reflection from my phone, and I'm looking this way. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, probably not. Well, I'll do it like this. So right now what I'm doing, I'm looking at the reflection of my painting, but it's upside down, right? So what's on the top is on the bottom, what's on the bottom is on the top right now. So I'm kind of looking and comparing my painting, and this is something that helps me to see the mistakes in the proportions, repetitions, and that kind of stuff that not only me, but most of the painters struggle with, is that bias. I have a bias towards the certain position, the certain movement, the certain application of the paint, and then repetitions in composition, which is the killer of the nice dynamic composition. So using mirrors, it's extremely helpful. So like I said, I'm happy with the overall shape. I'm happy how the figures are placed. Where are they placed? I'm happy with the shapes of the feet. I know there's a lot of work here. Don't get me wrong. There's enormous amount of work, but as it is right now, everything is in where it's supposed to be, at its place for now. I hope those who you saw more of my videos or streams or these painting discourses, I will figure it out how to destroy what I painted already, only because I'm pursuing even better representation of the ideas that I have, that I want to communicate with viewer. So if there is only one thing that you take from these videos, is that don't be afraid to change things. If you feel that it doesn't work, it simply doesn't work. That's it. It is as simple as that. If you feel it doesn't work, it 100% doesn't work. So I have to trust with this idea in my head, and I can't just lie to myself that, oh, it's working, it's gonna get better. The more detail I put in, it never worked, and you know, I struggled a lot, and I was very angry with my work, only because I was not able to just move things around freely. And I struggle with this daily. Trust me, daily. So yeah, let me adjust the canvas a little bit. So I'm gonna get a little higher so I can work on my feet. And the reason being because I would like to have it as close to my eye level as possible. And I have it right now because when I'm working on the feet, I'm working all, you know, let's say from the knee to a fingers, from the knee to a fingers. And I'm going back and forth, you can see it, because I'm analyzing it from a distance. Why am I stepping back so far away? Well, that's a good question. I'm out of the frame right now. And the reason being is that I need to see the picture in its entirety. That's very, very important for me. And it should be for you as well. So it's the part of the process, because I cannot judge things properly if I move with my head back and forth. So, and especially, let's say that I'm right here, I'm looking at my feet, everything looks as it's supposed to, I'm happy, and then I look up and I compare it and I see, oh, it's approximately the same size. Well, there is no way that I'm able to judge it correctly if I'm standing here, because I'm looking at it from the angle. So when I step back, suddenly it just opens the whole painting, and I immediately see, oh, well, it's not as cool as I thought. Well, so yeah. So let me get a sip and let's start. I'm gonna grab my trusty charcoal, wine charcoal, or willow, and I'm again gonna play a little bit with the soft charcoal. I want to correct certain shapes. For some reason, I feel like I like a thick, chunky feet. For some reason, it kind of shows the amount of work that they underwent, at least in my mind. Well, I might be wrong, but as usual, it's more likely that I'm wrong than I'm right. It's just nature. So I could push this, and I'm doing like these little small adjustments. And even though I'm doing small adjustments, I'm always stepping back, because really a minute, really small change, it's going to show 100%. Trust me, it's going to show. And this goes not only for this happens not only with proportions, this happens with value shift and also with temperature shift. Small little, almost sometimes I'm asking myself, like, how such a small incremental adjustment can change so much. I don't understand. It's just, well, I do understand, but it's because our eyes are so powerful. It's just so powerful of a tool, and everybody who uses them in terms of painting, we should be very receptive, or perceptive, it's the word, I'm not sure right now. We should be very aware of these changes. And I'm stepping back, and what I'm doing right now, I'm looking at my big toe and I'm comparing to my nose. Not mine, but I'm comparing the big toe on the foot with the nose on the portrait. And why am I doing it? Because I can tell immediately whether or not the toe is big or small. Well, you can measure it yourself. How big is your toe, the big toe on your foot compared to your nose, and that would give you a nice reference point. So it's a little trick that my very good friend, great painter, taught me, and I remember this. It was a long time ago. I will never forget it. He looked at me and he asked me that if I'm if my nose is that big or my fingers that small, and then I immediately understood what he meant. It was like kind of a, the aha moment or eye-opening moment when I felt like complete idiot. How couldn't I see that? Well, it happens. It happens. And the important part is that, you see the mistake, correct it. Do not wait with corrections. That's one advice that it's probably not not broadcasted as much as the other, but if you do not change it immediately, it's not going to change itself 100%. That guarantee. I guarantee you that it's not going to change by itself. I guarantee that. That's probably the only certainty that I can give you. It's the only thing that you can take from this class, and you don't need to question that, because I am 100% positive that if you do not change it, it's not going to change itself. And again, I look at my big toe. I compare to my big toe to my foot that I'm working on, and then I compare the foot with my head. I'm looking at how big it is compared to how big is my head, because I know that my feet cannot be bigger than the head, according to traditional classical canon with proportions, right? So if you do like a character design or creature design, or you're making, I don't know, some fantasy characters, you can do whatever you want. But with figures, I start with the canon, the classical canon, which is when you take the size of the head, that's like you can stack them on top of each other, and it will give you 8 heads stacked on top of each other, size of one head times 8 equals the full length of the body, and the halfway point, it's where the legs starts, or where the halfway point of the figure is. That's a classical canon, and I always start with this idea in my head, and then I can do adjustments accordingly with the proper measurements. And what you see right now are the really, really, really small adjustments. Like, I would say imperceivable, but they are there. And I draw something, I step back and I compare it. I look at my anatomy reference, if I'm doing it, if the shape, the position is correct, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, I need to change it. And I do not draw with this necessarily, with this vine, but what I'm doing is I am correcting proportions, so I can so I can then use paint. It's a little bit easier for me, but it's not necessary. I'm probably very soon going to switch to paint, because there are limitations to what I can do with this particular medium, and I'm really correcting just the overall shape and comparing that foot with the whole body. And I'm going to look into a mirror reflection right now, and I'm checking if it's correct, and it seems it works. It works enough for me to start painting probably and do a little bit more adjustments. And again, the moment you start putting that details into your painting, compositionally, it happens to me, it might be maybe only my experience, the more detail I put in, the less accurate my face looks like. And that's something that I realized when I was studying at the academy, that I thought that, oh, I have my portrait ready and it's finished, and there were just the outlines for hands and outlines for knees and for feet, and I realized that, oh, portrait is ready, I can move forward. And I could not have been more wrong about that, because I was judging my portrait based on, again, other stuff that it's on canvas, and if I don't have nicely painted hand, I can't really tell whether or not my portrait is nicely painted. But the moment that I painted hands, I realized, oh, I have a problem, because this is not, the portrait doesn't work. What happened? Someone came to my studio during the night and just completely repainted my portrait. No, you just painted a nice feet, and you realize that your portrait looks like trash. Well, no worries, there is a solution for that. You just continue painting, and now you know that you've been wrong, and if you're wrong, you can always correct it. So I corrected that foot, and right now I think it's working. I think right now it seems it's okay. I will need to make it little, just a smidgen smaller. I think it's going to work right now. And again, I'm working with the anatomical references, so it's not that I'm just randomly placing the lines there. I'm not really that skillful working from my head, even though I can do a lot of things from out of my head. Feet and hands, oof, those are really difficult for me. Okay, so let's get to paint. So let's see if I have a right. Oh, this is way too light. But maybe I could put like a couple of lines. Okay. Okay, nice. It's like it's I need let's just go a little darker, a little and desaturate that a little bit. But I need more paint. Let's throw some green. That's very unusual for me to use green. I don't know. For some reason, I don't like the green color that much. I don't know why. Oh, actually, let me rephrase it. I like the green color. I don't like to work with green color. So I'm forcing myself to use a little bit of green to get the feel of it. This is extremely warm, so I'm going to cool it down a little bit. Okay, nice. I need a little darker value. More saturation. And what I'm doing right now, it's just, like when you go to like a concert, um, there's a band, and they are really looking to play, but they are not harmonized, so they need to just, fine tune their instruments so they can, work in harmony. I have some color laid down already, so I need to find the right value, right temperature, right hue to continue. So that's what I'm doing right now. Okay. Cool. I'm going to bring a little lighter value right here to see what's gonna happen. because I want to create that kind of a feel of that these feet are worn off. Well, that's even a word. And again, you see I'm working on a small part, but I'm still going back and forth because it's very important for me to catch that kind of a proper And the last time I was working on this foot, that's a little too much. Let's just lighten it up a little bit. Last time when I was working on this foot, I was working with warm colors, so I'm going a little bit warm orangish, yellowish, and right now I'm going into blues, greens. So I like to vary the temperatures back and forth. It creates kind of a nice interplay between values and tones, and I like that. Oops. Okay. And you might look at me and be like, oh my God, that's there's so many details that you're working on there. Yes, I have some weird phases that I just really zoom in and I do a little bit of detail, and it helps me to establish overall feel to the limb that I'm working on. And I'm thinking whether or not it's going to work. Is it going to help my painting? Is it going to destroy my painting? Should I continue and pursue that, or would it be better for a painting if I just leave it undefined? Would be the word, probably. Well, I feel like painting, especially on that I forgot what I wanted to say. Probably wasn't that important. Okay, so it's too light right now. I need a little bit more of that. Kind of a pinkish, coolish color. Let's try this. So let's grab a little bit of this. I what's going on today? I'm just probably have to glue this down. Okay. Mhm. So what I'm trying to create right now, it's three-dimensional feel of that foot. And I'm doing a really small adjustments. Sometimes, you can barely perceive them, but they're there. And you can see me walking back and forth. Yeah, it's a little bit all over the place right now. Okay. Mhm. Mhm. And what I'm trying to do is right now not only to paint the foot, I'm trying to paint the foot that was abused for a while, right? So it's just it's dirty, it's damaged, has all kinds of issues with it. Maybe it's like a little scuffed, maybe it was bleeding before, because through the feet I'm trying to um, bring that emotion of long journey. And I think that feet are really, really good tool that could help me okay, 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 okay. So I could darken this a little bit. And all right. And again, I don't have a, and when I say, and again, I mentioned this previously in the previous streams, is that maybe I can. With painting, and this is something that was really difficult for me. With painting, you don't have a eraser. Your eraser is just another paint on top of it. So when you paint opaquely or in pastel, in really thick color, it might sometimes, not all the time, sometimes reference of painting in pastel, it's working against me right now because I have a lot of paint that I have to deal with. But I like the results of impasto paint application. I really do. I really enjoy impasto application. One finger in front of another one. Nice. So again, I'm gonna step back. I'm gonna look into mirror reflection. Yeah, it's starting to show that it's a foot. It's not particularly the best one, but it reads as a nice. Okay. For like a specific brush. And this is one of those moments where I need to really scrape it down that impasto. Because it's interfering and it's creating a looking at it and I'm starting to get a feel that I don't have enough saturation here. So I'm bringing a little bit more of a saturation, a little bit fresher colors. So it doesn't look that dull, the painting. So the color doesn't look that. There's multiple things that I'm working and focusing on right now, and that's proper anatomy and the proper feel to it. And I will be repainting this over and over and over again till I'm not satisfied. As should you, if you're working on what is going on today. I'm really. I seem like I can't really pick up my feet. Maybe it's because I'm working on the foot. How does it feel right now? It's a little bit too symmetrical, and I should probably go here with it. I'm gonna change this a little bit. Yep. Okay, nice. All right, let's put another. I'm doing something that I should not do. Let's see how it's going to play out. I increased the thickness of the big toe a little bit because I felt like it needs to have a bigger presence. I think it might work. We'll see. It still seems like it's is it the right proportion? It seems it's okay. It seems it is okay. right now I need to mix the background color. I'm wondering, well, let's just do this ugly. Let's use this ugly brush. I'm not sure if this toe doesn't look big right now. Maybe a smidge. But let me correct it this way. Yeah. I'm thinking maybe I should. Maybe not. Maybe it's okay. We'll see. Yeah, I think it's starting to work slowly. Yeah, I put less of that harsh angles there, but I lost a little bit of that visual part, so maybe I should. It's going this way and it's wrapping around. So I kind of connected it together, and right now I'm slowly again showing a little bit more of a detail. When I'm not happy with that, I'll just I think this one's gonna be right here. Yep. And right here. Okay, so okay, and right now I should probably put like a really dark part right here. I want to show that his fingers and underneath his fingers are dirty. Okay, a little bit of a okay. I think that I could connect these together. Yep. So there no need to be a gap there. Yeah. position right here. What if I put like a, oops. Like a little dark shadow right there. What would that do? Yeah, I think that's something that I was a little missing. And maybe then it gives me a chance to light this up a little bit. Yep. Okay, I worked with one foot a little bit, and right now I can't really continue working unless I correct some other stuff, especially with especially with a position of that. So it's going this direction right here. So this should be lighter. Yep. this way. Thinking what would happen if I just if I would work this a little bit right now, because I don't really see, it looks very flat to me. I'm thinking that right now I'm really thinking about a composition and about how to convey that idea of. And if I just put some stuff here. So I should probably bring that. Let me see if I can make this work. And again, this is, like I said, this is a exploration. So I'm trying to explore certain things. And if it's not gonna, oof, that was a mistake. I'll never do that. Okay. So with one brush stroke, I just I'm sorry, little guy. Let's scoop it away. Let's make this work. I like this a lot on the paint. Does not want to work with me because it creates these little random stuff. And I'm thinking if this is thinking maybe I create a little bit of forward motion with that leg, and then I'll get a little bit of shadow here. Yep. Hmm. Yeah, maybe this will work a little bit more. Let me just grab a little bit more of this. Okay, let me see. Yeah. I think it's getting there. Because it was too static, I think it started to look too repetitive. And what I'm doing right now, I'm just figuring out what to do. What's going to be another course of action here. And I'm thinking that I should probably look into that background that I was talking about so much. Perhaps really trying to convey so I put a little bit more detail on another foot. And again, it's not really much of a detail, it's just trying to figure it out, the placement for the fingers, or for toes, I'm sorry, for toes. So what if I do this? I just have an idea, and I'm not sure if it's going to work. Let's see. But again, I have to try it. I don't know. This is an exploration, so. Yeah, this is the natural progression of the thing. It's going to be a big toe. It's going to be right here. It's going down. It's going in. Okay. But this all should be in the shadow. And I'm going to try to put it into shadow. That might work. Let's see. This might be a stupid idea, but whatever. So I'm going to use this. Just mix it into background. And see what's gonna happen. So what I did right now, I just completely covered that. But because I want to create the idea that it's just, that it is behind. And I'm going to create a soft edge right here. really think that I'm crazy that I had my feet painted there, and I could have continued to work and whatnot. And then this was not necessary. I'm telling you that it was necessary because I was not satisfied with it. So it's something that I talked about a lot, and I can't simply turn my head away from it. It bothers me. It's not really in the right position. It was in the right position, and at the beginning I said that I'm kind of satisfied with everything. Well, I understood that something is wrong. And that's another thing that I mentioned previously. I understood that something is wrong only when I put the details there. Not the details. I started to develop that area, and I realized that something is wrong there. Something doesn't really work the way that I want to, and it needs to be adjusted. So I decided that perfectly painted foot, or perfectly, satisfactory, proportionally and compositionally, sound shape I changed, but I'm going to work on it a little bit. Not that worried. Actually, I'm not worried at all. What is going on here right now? Did I just... Yeah, perhaps I could do this. But that's the way to go. Yeah, way better. Well, it's not better, but it's what I wanted to say, that it's going to get worse before it will get better. So don't worry. We're getting there. And I'm probably going to completely. Okay, I want to push this one back. That's gonna be really tough. So what I'm trying to do is to show that one foot is front of the another, and the foot that is all the way on the right should go forward, and it should probably cast a shadow on the foot that's on the left. Huh. Yeah. So I could do, and I could do a little variations. Also here, so it's just, so we can go this way and up, and this is going to under, and it's slightly darker. And slightly darker. This is going to go forward. So it's just going to push this away, and it's going to create this kind of shape. So what I'm doing right now, I'm adjusting a position. Right. Okay, I think this might work. I'm not really sure if this is the best way of just hit it harder with this light color, especially here. It's a little bit more of the kind of orangish, so the sun is hitting it a little bit. maybe I should probably, let me just stop right here, right now, because I am not sure if I really want to have it this way. I think it looks better, but then I feel like I have a repetition. I have a 1 foot back, 1 foot forward, and I have the same thing, just in a different position. Maybe it should go back, and well, I'll have to think about it, and I probably do a couple more sketches. Maybe put it into maybe take a picture of it and draw digitally a little bit into it, just to see the results. But yeah, I think it's going to be it for today. I want to do this. I want to create the soft edges. Well, I could have done that. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Let's think about it. Let's really think about it. Oh, I need this. I need this. I still need this. Yeah, that's going to be it for today. Thank you for being part of this painting this course, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.